And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How do you do it?
I mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this.
time,
with
when,
you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny
All
and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
Just a sexy eye right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Find somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing out there? I hope you guys are having a marvelous Monday. Hope you guys had a marvelous weekend. I don't know about y'all, but mine was action-packed, so I am tired as hell. I didn't have much of a weekend, except yesterday was a lot of fun. But outside of that, it's just been a very busy very, very busy weekend. But I'm hoping everybody's having a good one. You know what I mean? Chat down below. Put in the comments down below. Let me know that you guys are having a good day and that you guys had a positive and productive weekend down below. Please comment that down below. And like this feed down below if you're having a good morning, enjoying a good big old cup of coffee. And getting ready to crush this week. Anyway, I got my boys in the house. We got Ed and Jack. What up? What's a guan, guys?
What's happening? Good to see you.
Don't say your boys like we cool, dog.
Man, you know what? You know what? You just need to shut your face. That's what we need to do.
Like,
Today's nothing but positive vibes because we got a lot of negative things going on and we got a lot of negative things we got to talk about. So, I hate your face, but how you doing today?
I'm good. Tired, just like you.
Facts. Jack, how are you?
Man, I'm sore today. We were out and about doing, homeowner duties, mowing the lawn, tearing out stuff from the garden, weeding around the backyard. Just, I got sore tips of my fingers from pulling out weeds. And I have,
you ain't got no gloves, man?
My neck, my back.
My neck and my back. No, I mean, like, what happened to you? You ain't got no gloves, like gardening gloves and stuff?
Dude, I got gloves. They were like ripping holes in the gloves because it's stinging nettle, and you don't want it to touch your fingers or your arms or anything else like that because all of a sudden you will have like a rash. So, but you can turn it into a tea, because weird things like that, right? The things that might kill you, you boil it, and now all of a sudden it's good for you.
Might be helpful. Just randomly might be helpful for you. Interesting.
That's weird.
So if you want to come over into the brown bags on the side of my house, you can make some stingy nettle tea for yourself.
Nummy. Oh my.
So, how about you, man? What's good with you?
Me? I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so one of them is this. This weekend was supposed to be kind of a weekend that I was hoping to have a little bit of time to just relax and just chill. Kind of got a chance to do that, but kind of didn't. This weekend turned into, I ended up helping somebody move out of their place into a new place. Now, here's the thing. You know who your real friends are when you're moving.
Facts.
That is full on facts, y'all. Couldn't you agree? Exactly. Full on hard facts.
I'm pretty sure that I asked you to help me move, and you said no.
I don't remember
Back
this
in
at
the
all.
day, I think so.
I
What is
don't
this saying about you?
I don't remember this. I'm just
I don't
gonna
know,
say
I don't recall.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I must have been busy.
I must have been. You
I
must
was
have
dog
been.
sitting or something. I don't know.
You must have been sleeping. You must have been dreaming. I think you were dreaming. I think that's what was it. You were dreaming.
He helped me move once though, so that's
okay.
You know, I guess we're cool.
Yeah.
That's
Once.
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 Hey, I helped. That's all I'm going to say. I helped. You asked for help, I did it. You see what I'm saying? So, long story short, I was thinking that I was not going to be doing anything like that at all this weekend. So, lo and behold, out of nowhere, I'm doing it. So, it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, damn, you know? No disrespect to anybody. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things where it's like, all right, okay, it's time to roll up the sleeves and do it. Now, the other thing is, too, I was the only guy. Not sitting here saying that girls can't lift heavy things, but I was the only guy. So there was supposed to be another guy there, and he bailed at the last minute. So it was kind of like because I could have bailed if I wanted to, but then he bailed. And so it was like, all right, I got to be there. I got to show up. You know what I mean? I got to show up and show out, as some people would say. You know what I mean? Oh, don't you dare laugh at me. Don't you dare laugh, Ed. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. I ended up doing that. And it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. But still, I was very happy at the end of it to help out and be there. You know what I mean? Come through in the clutch, just be there for somebody and help out. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it was like I didn't get a workout in, so then I got my workout in, if that makes any sense. So, yeah.
That's
you know
definitely
what I mean?
a workout moving.
Man, I'm telling you, man. You know, and I'm very thankful that her place wasn't, it wasn't like 15 million flights of stairs or anything crazy like that. I mean, it was just like right on the ground, like just straight out the door kind of thing. So that was, it was, I was thankful for that. But yeah, you know, went in, did my good deed for the day, for the weekend, and then got to spend time with my family, with Ed and everything. So that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Going kicking it and everything.
Very nice.
Right, Ed?
Yeah. Had a water balloon fight.
Yeah, had a water balloon fight,
It was
man.
warm enough.
Full-on water balloon fight. It was fun. It was
You guys
fun.
got any welts?
Nah.
Nah, we weren't putting that much heat on it because the girls were playing with us too. So
Yeah,
you have to tone down how much arm you're putting into those throws.
Right, and we had toddlers too. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
we had little
toddlers
kids,
also,
so you know we can't put too much hurt. You know, we can't put too much heat on those balloons. But it was still a good time. It was a good time. It was a cool idea because at first I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get into this. You know, I'm not gonna do it. And then the next thing you know, I'm the one running around acting a damn fool. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun, for sure. Yeah.
At least it was nice and hot outside too.
Yes.
So it wasn't too cold, wasn't too hot, but it was pretty nice out this weekend.
Yeah, and I was telling them, I was like, I wish it was hotter. Because then it would have been that water would have felt even better.
Right.
It was like 84-ish, but I wish it was like 90.
Well,
I'd have been out there like, yes, but it was, like you said, it was still fun though.
yeah, the heat. I mean, you could have been in Death Valley National Park this weekend.
Yes.
Where it reached 130 degrees.
130 degrees, man. 130 degrees. Crazy,
People out there
man.
wishing they could have a water balloon fight.
That is literally death.
Yeah.
Literally.
Valley,
Highest temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth.
bruh.
So that's neat.
And
2020. Hey.
And global warming doesn't exist. Okay.
Even know what I feel like I would like explode. I like that's just too hot.
You ever seen like last year or the year before there are things in like India where they're showing photos of people like trying to walk across the street and their sandals were getting stuck because the asphalt was melting. And like so then they're like trying to go across because India had like a heat wave that came through in the high 100s, like 108s, 109s, like multiple days. I think it crossed into like 110, 112s. And but at 130, I mean, you gotta think about food that you cook at 130 degrees. Like there's like, you know, it starts to get down at that lower end of baking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like that's Yeah, you better have on some thick ass shoes right there.
No, I mean, let me ask you this though. Okay, so in Death Valley, are there any people that live there, or is it just
underground?
nothing?
Maybe.
Okay.
Like,
No, I'm just wondering if there's like actually
I don't know.
people.
Let me look it up.
I was just wondering if there's actual people living in that area, because I would wonder how are they surviving right now? Because I mean, I feel like their houses would be on fire. You know what I'm saying? Cars would be exploding by now. I don't know. That's crazy. You know, you could cook a whole steak on your street. Not even fry an egg. You could fry some salmon. You could cook some steaks up in this piece in that place. That's crazy. Just right on the ground. That's crazy. What were we gonna say, Jack?
So, current population is 320 people.
Whoa! I'm surprised.
Since 2010, and it has a population decline of 28.1% year over year. So, people are moving out quick.
Really? Why? Like, why are you living there?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Yeah. Of all places.
When I think about Death Valley, like every time you drive from LA to Vegas, you kind of have to drive past it because you're driving through the desert. But you can like veer off and actually go into. There's like a ramp you can get off on, and you can actually drive in to get into Death Valley. But I didn't think people actually lived there. I thought you just drove past it and like looked at it.
Right.
And just
Imagine
Valley National Park.
Imagine going to your wife and going, "Hey, baby, guess what? What's that, honey? Oh, I found us a new home. Oh, where? Death Valley, baby. Oh my gosh! Like, what? Who wants to go and live? How is that a dream spot to live in? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, we're living in Death Valley. Who wants to live in Death Valley, man?
Your
what kind of
sister
crazy?
Would kill me if I ever
Facts.
That idea.
Who wants to live in Death Valley? What person? What right-minded person would want to live in a place like that? That just makes no sense to me.
It has death in the name.
Exactly.
Right.
Just tell you no. This is not a good idea. Death.
I wonder if the 320 people are at this AAA 4-diamond 66 room at Death Valley Ranch. So there's two different big hotels. I wonder if those are if that's the population.
That could very well be it.
It's called the Oasis at Death Valley.
I thought it was 666 Muerte Avenue or something like
that.
That's right.
Muerte.
The gates. Welcome.
Who does that, man? Who wants to live there? No, I'm sorry. You can't pay me enough, bruh. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to be sitting over here on a slab of ice. Chilling. I'm good on that. That's stupid, yo. That's stupid. Shoot. Speaking of which, we got to talk about this other thing. Speaking of hot, speaking of heat, there was a fire tornado, y'all, this weekend. What the hell, Jack? What is going on here, man? Tell us.
So, there's been more wildfires out in California. So the Northern California, wildfire frenzy has started again. And well, there's a thing called a fire whirl, and if it's big enough, it becomes a fire-induced tornado. So like from the heat convection and everything that goes on, and the uptake in the winds, and it can cause a tornado to basically form from the extreme heat from the fire, turbulent winds, and uneven terrain. And it would be terrifying to see coming towards your house.
No
These are the things that you see in the action-packed movies. You expect the Rock to be coming around the corner, some fighter jets flying by trying to take it down. But on Saturday, there's a 20,000-acre wildfire in Northern California right now, and reports of a rare occurrence of fire tornadoes arising started coming out.
Yeah.
So
I got a video too. So I wanted to pull that up real quick because this is something you got to see, guys. I just emailed it to myself, so give me a second here. But continue, man. Continue.
So Doppler radar over the weekend showed at least 5 rotation signatures, but she could not classify that they were all fire tornadoes. And it's like, it's not like a typical tornado where it happens, everything clears out, you can go in and you can investigate everything. In this case, like a fire tornado comes through, and then there's still a massive wildfire burning at that same location. So like, it's not like it's easy accessible to go and help people if it's in an area where people need help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that have been forced without having power. There's been those scheduled shutoffs in Northern California due to all the fires. So, but it's an extremely rare phenomenon to have it. And if it happened and had 5, I mean, the people keep on joking about having this 2020 bingo card and be like, "Did you have fire tornado?" No.
Man, you can go ahead and put that one on there.
That's
Like,
right.
it's just,
Yeah, no kidding. That's
man, what is this? What is this? Like, hold on, let me look out.
what's going on.
I just want to make sure the sky is still up there, cause
That's right.
this
Have the
is
locusts come to you yet? Are they
like
up there?
what is this? Weren't there locusts somewhere too?
Yeah, that's been happening.
Oh, that's been happening, bruh. That's
Yeah.
been happening. All right,
Like,
all right.
man,
So
locusts, I'm
here,
like there was locusts somewhere else.
all right. So here it is. So I'm gonna show this to you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Take a look at this. Well, they had it in the beginning. That's weird.
I feel like it needs to be more ominous music that's behind this.
Yeah, no kidding. There's one. That's insane.
Fire tornado.
That- yeah, I know. It's like something like, "Thank you for flying." You know, American Airlines. Please put on the
On your
oxygen
left
mask.
is a fire tornado.
Yeah, on your left is a fire tornado. But I'm gonna see if I can find something better than that.
Yeah, that's
That was kind of crappy, yo.
I just can't.
That was really crappy.
Like, where are our little pods that we can go to sleep in, and we can just fast forward.
just wait.
Here we go.
Just wait it
Hold
out
on one
there.
second, guys.
Welcome to 4020.
Like, slept a little too long.
Now all tornadoes
Unbelievable.
are fire tornadoes.
All tornadoes.
Here we
And
go.
They happen daily.
Okay, guys, here we go. There we go. It's no joke. Bruh, that's insane. That's nuts. Well, that's a repeat. So you get the general idea. I mean, the thing is, it's out there. Like that's the real deal. Now, these are the moments where I'm like, man, now you could never say that a Sharknado could never happen, because it could very well happen.
All right,
Anything's
now
possible.
That one's not gonna happen. But
I don't know. Hey, a fire tornado is real. There was enough. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, I don't even know how that is even possible, y'all, for a fire to stay in a tornado and not get blown out or get whirled up in something and keep. I mean, that's insane to me. That's really, really insane. So
it's terrifying.
You know what I'm saying?
It grabs all the stuff into it, sets it on fire, then throws it. Like, so it's not like an isolated thing either. Like, this thing is just like spreading more wildfires. Too.
Yeah.
Like,
increasing its path of destruction.
All I'm saying is that God is trying to tell us something. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Run and hide.
Run and hide. That 2020 is terrible, or like the way the world is working right now is not how it should be working. I mean, all the stuff that's going on with the earth and the world right now. I mean, there was a shark attack another shark attack in Australia just this weekend. I mean, there's just all kinds of craziness that's going on as far as with what the earth is doing and what Mother Nature's doing. And I mean, I'm telling you, God's trying to tell us something. I'm sorry. That's all. That's it. I mean, you know, it's whatever. The earth, the particles that make matter, whatever you believe in, the universe, the energy, the auras, I don't care. You could call it God. You could call it whatever you want. There is something out there that's trying to tell us something. And I don't think they like what we're doing right now. Real talk. Facts. That's all I'm saying. The world's saying something to us. The actual world is saying something to us. And that's it. A fire tornado. Come on, guys. A fire tornado.
I'm gonna see an alien walk up to my door next. Watch.
That's all I'm saying. Bing bong. You ordered a pizza. Like it's like aliens. Like what the heck, man? You got UFOs, fire tornadoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Death Valley's gone past 130 degrees today. Come on now. And global warming doesn't exist. Come on, y'all.
Oh, it exists.
Shoot. Just saying. It
exists.
The energy, the earth, something is there. It is trying to tell us something, y'all. It's trying to tell us something. And we need to start listening. That's it. That's all. I'm getting off my soapbox now.
Your soapbox?
I'm
yeah,
done.
Go ahead.
I'm down.
Because it melted?
I'm down.
Yeah, it melted in the heat.
It melted in the damn heat. The fire tornado and Death Valley at the same damn time just ate it up. You know what I'm saying? It just disintegrated, but right beneath my feet. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we got to jump into this other one of our top stories for sure. Italy makes masks mandatory and closes nightclubs due to a spike in coronavirus cases. So it's such a terrible thing, man. Because here it is. What? Okay, sorry. Pop-ups. So
don't click on those.
So wearing a face covering is to become mandatory in public places in Italy overnight, and nightclubs have been ordered to close due to a spike in coronavirus. So they will be warned where social distancing is not possible between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m., while the closure of nightclubs and dance halls also applies to outdoor venues where people dance, such as beaches and common areas in hotels. So the thing is as much as we've been sitting here, and, you know, I'll sit here and say it, you know what I mean? I have no problem saying what I need to say. Clearly, microphone. Here it is. We've been sitting here going, why aren't we looking at Italy, for example? Why aren't we looking at all these other European countries for an example of how they've been able to stifle and quell the actual virus in general, right? And now they're having a spike. So obviously we are in August right now, you know, mid-August. So I don't know what kind of weather, what kind of temperature that they have over there right now, but my understanding is still pretty damn hot over there. So it's not like there's a change of temperature or change of weather. So it's like people have just been going out and having a good time. Italians have been being very Italian. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks that that's happening in Italy right now, because I've been sitting here going, why aren't we looking at the European places, European countries, seeing how they've been handling it, and it seems like they've been doing very well. But now there is a spike in the viruses that they are now restricting them to people to go out to the clubs, be able to do their social gatherings and hang out. And now they're saying that they're doing mandatory masks when you're out in public. What do you guys think of that, Ed?
By the way, it is currently 89 degrees in Rome.
Thank you. 89 degrees in Rome. So it's not like it's cold. It's still hot. It's still, it's still summertime. You know what I mean? So people are still
high of
going.
91. It's also 4 p.m. there too. So
there you go.
Their temperature's on the way down.
But then but at the same time, you got people who are out here, still going out there to, well, not really anymore. Everything's there's such a hard travel ban going on. But usually this is the time when people go out to other countries to travel and to vacation and all that before school starts, or they get, before the families have to go back to school and everything. So this is usually the last leg of vacationing. So right now would be the time that people go and do those things. What sucks is that there's a spike in Italy, of all things. I thought Italy had it down to, down pat. Apparently they have not. So what do you think, Ed?
Oh man, I think they probably shouldn't have opened the nightclubs. It's kind of like when you're being restricted, like to like doing something, like you're like, oh, you can't do this, or let's say you can't eat bread. It's like, oh, you can't eat bread for a month, or whatever. Like I'd die if I couldn't eat bread for a month. That's miserable. But it's like, you can't eat bread for a month, and then they're finally like, oh yeah, here you can eat bread now. You're going to go crazy. You're going to be like, yeah, it's the same thing. Like they have been restricted from doing the things that they want to do. And then they start slowly opening back up, and then they open nightclubs. And it's like, you already know people are going to go to nightclubs and act a fool. They're not going to be wearing masks. They're going to be all up in each other's face. So of course, like there are probably still people that are asymptomatic. And then, yeah, of course, you're probably going to see a spike. Like it's going to spread around, get all gross like it is right now. It's going to spread around. And now they're going to have to they're not shutting down, but they're closing like nightclubs and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you might have seen this happen. Like you probably knew this was going to happen. I mean, you didn't want to say it because you don't want to think the worst, but it is 2020. So it's almost like you got to think the worst. Like because that's what usually happens. So
right.
It's unfortunate that they're having to like go back, because they did seem like one of the models for like, this is how you're supposed to do it. Italy did it like you said, Italy did it like this, and look, they're doing great now. Yeah. And now we got to kind of be like, well, they were doing great. What they do, somebody did something wrong. I think the something wrong is the nightclubs.
Well, so what they did wrong was they allowed people back into Italy. So they opened up borders, and then people from Europe started traveling again and came to Italy, and they brought it with them. They had the shutdown good for the people in Italy. But on the same day that they put these new measures out, they also introduced at Rome's airports for travelers returning to Italy from Croatia, Greece, Malta, and Spain. Now they all have to do testing when they come in. So I'm assuming that that's going to be like one of those 15-minute tests or something, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's very interesting. So Ed, I was just trying to ask you. So you say it is the nightclubs. That's why there's a spread of Rona. That's why you think that.
That and what Jack said, because I completely forgot about that. Yeah, like opening their borders and allowing people that haven't already been there, quarantining there, like to come in. And they might be bringing in stuff too. So like, I think it's that nightclubs being able to have super duper large gatherings, and in multiple places, and then, like he said, the opening of the borders. That'd probably do it.
Word. Yeah, and that would do it too. Because you got to remember, people are coming out to the beaches. You got to remember they're coming to Italy not only just for the food and the ambiance. They're going to the beach. They're definitely going to the nightlives. They're going to the clubs and everything. But I don't think that. Obviously I don't live in Italy. But I wonder what the actual procedure has been. Like if they've been saying, okay, only 50% capacity per club. You know what I'm saying? Or were they saying, all right, no. Everyone's going back to normal. The whole world, like the whole country is just going back to the way it was. We're going to eat spaghetti and meatballs every single day. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, and everything's fine. You see what I'm saying? Or did they go, no, 25% We're going to do these things in small increments. I know that they did that in the beginning, but I don't know where they ended up going. If they were like, all right, let's just open sesame. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, though.
Shoot.
So let's say 25%. You trying to tell a club is at 25% capacity? You trying to tell me people are going to social distance in a club?
Hell to the no.
You're at a club.
No, hell to the no.
Trying to like kick it.
No.
Get numbers.
No.
Dance, talk. Like, no, you're not going to social distance. Like,
you're not going to bump and grind 6 feet away from each other. I'm sorry. It's not possible. I've tried it. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's really weird. So I'm just saying, obviously in a club, you are literally going into the club at your own risk. I mean, that's it. You're literally, you're playing Russian roulette with your own self. I mean, and I'm just saying, like, I'm sure we've all gone into some sort of establishment, a restaurant or a place where there are other people in it. No matter what, it's kind of hard to not talk to somebody, in a loud place. Let's just say 6 feet away from each other. It's just almost impossible.
It's not happening.
So 25% capacity or 50% capacity ain't going to change not a damn thing. It ain't going to change nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep the businesses running, but it's still implementing the possibility of contracting the virus no matter what. Now, I know that I understand that if Italy is doing something like that, I'm just wondering if they just said, hey, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and let everything go back to normal. Or if they were like, nope, we're at 50% and we still have a spike, so we got to go back. That's the question. You know what I'm saying? And Franz, what's up, Franz? Good morning. Said on Facebook, Rona's always lurking, LOL, no matter what. Facts, baby. I mean, it's no matter where we are. I mean, you could be, like I said, it's Russian roulette. You just never know. But that's the thing. You can sit here and shake your head at people who go to the nightclub, but then you should shake your head at the people that go to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You could get it anywhere. It's not like it's just the nightclub or just the beach. It's everything else in between as well. So I feel bad for Italy because I was really looking forward to seeing them triumph and us having some place to use as a template to just copy and paste. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it sucks that they're got those new restrictions. That sucks, man.
Yeah. It's pretty hard for Italy, too, because it says that 13% of their GDP is based on tourism. So, for them to shut down their borders and keep them shut down, it's nearly impossible. Because, if you imagine over a tenth of your country's income comes from people coming from out of state or out of country, how long can you keep your borders shut without allowing more people to come in? They also started up their first cruise, that left from Italy again. And that's the first thing I've heard of new cruise ships going out. And that's one of those things where, man, if anybody that's on that, again, puts another cruise ship down,
that's just
let's
talk about that. Let's talk about that really quick. I'm going to be straight funky with you. I've never been on a cruise in my life. I mean, I've been on little thingies, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's a little cruise around the bay, around the shore. Mm-hmm. Here's a cool little view of Miami skyline, that kind of thing. I've done those things, but I've never done we're going to take this from Miami all the way out to Jamaica, and we're going to, you're going to hit all these different islands and blah, 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 and come back after like a week or something like that, right? Never done a cruise, nor will I ever do a cruise anytime soon. Are you insane? I don't care how cheap the tickets are, yo. Who in their right mind would do that, man? Who would do that? Who would do that in their right mind, man? Real talk. Who would do it?
I will never go on a cruise. You know.
Oh, I already know.
Terrified of large bodies of water because I can't swim. Absolutely terrified.
He ain't cool with it.
They scare the hell out of me. I would never.
Bruh. Let me tell you. So we were on this. We were out at.
Oh, this is where you're gonna do this?
Oh, I'm doing this.
We're gonna do this right now.
It's hilarious, man. Jack, you got to hear this story really quick. So we're at the Lake of the Ozarks. So we rented a pontoon boat. Okay, and I'm driving this thing, and like I said, I've driven pontoon boats before, but it's been years since I've touched one. Right. So I'm in there and I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. And everyone else is
scaring
chill.
the heck out of me, by the way.
Everyone's chill. Everyone's chill. Everyone's chill. And I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to figure this out. No, hey. People were chill. In the very beginning, I could understand people getting nervous because I was just getting the.
Chill.
You were not. He was far from chill. Imagine him being fully clothed with a life vest on, gripping onto the back of the boat for dear life. That's what Ed looked like. So, but I understand the man can't swim, which is terrible. So don't ever go on a cruise, bruh. Like, not never. Okay?
Well, also the ocean itself kind of like creeps me out because you gotta think about this. We've only explored 10% of the ocean's bottom, there's no bottom. Like when you look down there, you're like, oh, it just keeps going down. I can't even see the ocean floor. What is this? So if you like drown, you just gonna sink on straight down. I'm good. No, I'm all right. I want y'all to be able to find my body, okay? If I ever were to drown, okay? So, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good on cruises and large bodies of water.
But see that
now y'all know my number one fear.
Yes, there you go. He can't swim, y'all. Okay? I've tried to teach this man, okay? I've tried. He is a sinking rock. I'm sorry. He is a sinking rock. He doesn't even know how to stay buoyant. I've tried. Y'all, I've tried everything. I've tried. Kiddie pool. We're in there.
There ain't no kiddie pool.
I know we weren't in the kiddie pool.
It was like 7 feet, I think.
It was no 7 feet. You lying like a mug. It wasn't no 7 feet. Come on now. It was like waist high. So put your feet down,
Ed. Were you teaching me how to swim?
What?
When you were trying to teach me how to swim, it was like 7 feet. And
I
was
wasn't no 7 feet. Man, bro, you need to stop. You need to stop. That was not no 7 feet, bro. That was like 4.
Lot.
Like Ed, put your
walk around and
Ed, plant your feet.
Why would I try to swim in that?
Ed, put your feet down.
You can stand.
So you can stand, bro.
Around. Like,
I don't want you to drown on my watch. You know what I'm saying? While I'm trying to teach you how to swim, bro. No, put your feet down, Ed. You stand up. 7 feet in my ass.
No point in me learning how to swim.
Get out of here.
Anyway. He needs that realistic feel of not being able to touch the ground.
Exactly.
This dude right here.
Incentivize him.
This dude right here.
You did this incorrectly.
7 feet. You need to get out of here.
You know that you can go on a 4-night Bahama cruise for $237? And you get the second person for 60% off, and kids go free.
See, this is how they get you. And then you go there, and then you go, Rona, hell to the no. No. Give it. I will. If I really am needing to go on a cruise, I will go on a cruise when this stuff isn't going on and tickets are way sky high. I will pay for every penny. When they're going, hey guys, hey, for $300 and your kids get in for free. Hey, why not? We'll give you all free lobster for the whole week. Hell no. You know if something's not right. That's not right. You're gonna come back sick. You're gonna come back sick. Figgity facts, baby. I ain't about that life. I'm sorry. Those deals freak me out. Plane tickets, that's another conversation, sort of.
Yeah.
You're only in plane for a few hours. You're not in something in a petri dish, a floating petri dish on water where you don't even know if, according to Ed, if there's aliens underneath. You know what I'm saying? If we only explore.
Where they are. That's probably where they're hiding.
I'm done, man. I'm done. Oh, that is
where
true.
They're hiding.
No, I feel you.
Now that I think about it.
What is that movie?
They're probably down there chilling.
What is that movie?
Waiting, biding their time.
What is that movie with the Jaegers? What movie is that?
The Jaegers.
Jaegers. Yeah, well, they're in the gigantic robots, and they're fighting things that are coming out from the ocean.
Oh,
Pacific Rim. Bang.
Pacific.
So it's like Pacific Rim. All of a sudden, all these aliens just come out from the ocean. I get it. I feel you. It's not like they haven't said this before. All I'm saying is, you won't see me in a You won't see me in a floating petri dish anytime soon. Okay? So, moving on to the next story. Moving on, we have to talk about this because this is breaking news as of over this weekend. We were talking about it right on Friday, right before we closed. We ended the show on Friday morning about Robert Trump, the younger brother of President Donald Trump. Unfortunately, he died over this weekend at the age of 71. Now, the question is, I'm still trying to find out what was his cause of death. But, Trump did put out a tweet, put out a statement, and it said, "It is with heavy heart I share that my wonderful brother, Robert, peacefully passed away tonight. He was not just my brother, he was my best friend. He will be greatly missed, but we will meet again soon, or we will meet again. His memory will live on in my heart forever. Robert, I love you. Rest in peace." All I can say is, yes, I mean, may his brother rest in peace. I mean, it's such a terrible, it's a terrible thing to lose somebody, especially a brother, somebody that you love very much, a family member, is a terrible thing. I'm wondering how Trump is handling this. I just wonder how he's handling that, especially with everything else he's dealing with. Now to lose his brother is such a terrible thing. Real talk, just on a human level. On a human level, still a terrible, terrible story, and terrible news. You know what I mean? So may his brother, Robert Trump, dead at 71, may he rest in peace. What do you guys think on that?
The official cause of death hasn't been disclosed, but
Rona.
New York Times quoted a family friend as saying that Robert Trump had recently started experiencing intracerebral hemorrhaging after a fall, and that he had been hospitalized a couple times in the last 3 months, and then as of last week, he was very ill and having a hard time. And then he had passed. So I mean, it's really sad to hear. I mean, it's anytime someone's family member passes, I mean, it's going to be that's a personal type of thing. You can put aside politics for it, and have a human or humane moment, and thoughts and prayers with their family, and it's definitely something that's rough to go through, and especially having your younger brother die. I mean, I think as a parent, you never want to die before your children, and I think as siblings, you don't ever expect your younger siblings to pass before you do, and so that makes it a really tough situation to deal with. There's a lot of people that are sending out tweets and things that were in support. Even Joe Biden said, "Mr. President, Jill and I are sad to learn of your younger brother Robert's passing. I know the tremendous pain of losing a loved one. I know how important family is in moments like these. I hope you know that our prayers are with you all."
Yeah. And you know what? I give him mad props. I give Joe Biden mad props for doing that, because you know how it is. They're enemies right now. They're going after each other. They're going for the jugular. There's a lot of low blows that are coming from both sides. So the fact that he went out of his way to send that message says a lot, and shows that he's, more than anything he's human. And that that he cares. And that's the thing. No matter where we think, no matter what we think right now, and how we feel about Trump, it's still terrible for someone to lose a loved one. It's still terrible. Absolutely terrible. Ed, what are your thoughts?
And I'm happy that even though, like you said, they're enemies and they're opponents, that he did say something in support of like him losing his sibling, because losing a family member, no matter who it is, sibling, parent, whatever, it's tough. It's tough. So my condolences to President Trump's family, and I hope his brother, I'm just happy, like, whatever his brother's going through, he's like at peace now, and he's not in any more pain or anything like that. So
facts.
Yeah.
Facts on that one, for sure. For sure. Okay, so here it is. Before we jump into any more other pieces of information because, you know, I do have somebody very special coming on the show at 10 a.m., but I do want to do something. It's a left turn, a little bit of a left turn. It's
turn. Where we going?
It's called, I like to call this like, what would you do? Okay. So before we jump into it, because I know that Ed will not be on after 10, and I want to get his 2 cents on this story as well. So I received, shout out to Tanner Vane. Shout out to my boy Tanner Vane. He's been tweeting me a lot lately. By the way, if you haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, please go follow me on Twitter. It's The Pascal Show, one word. Please go follow The Pascal Show on Twitter. Okay, it's a really good way of getting in touch with me, at least for now. I say that now, and you know, for now. But and I'm also working on my Discord. I'm trying to get that all figured out. Hopefully by tonight's show, I'll have all that information for you guys. You know what I mean? No, I have it. It's just that I don't have it set. It's set up. I just don't have the information. So I'm gonna pull it up and all that for tonight's show because I already have it. Shut your face, man. Just shut up. Just shut up. Okay.
Continue, sir.
As I was saying, while he's rudely interrupting me. Okay. So this is a what would you do situation. Now, I just got this from Tanu Vane. Shout out to Tanu Vane. Sent me this. This is a video. I don't really have much backstory to this, but the question is, this is to all the fellas in the room, in the chat, and in this conversation. There's a woman that is attacking this guy in this convenience store. She's hitting him, attacking him. All right, we're going to look at the video, and then I'm going to ask you guys the question, okay? And this question goes out to all the fellas. And big warning, there is language. All right. Here we go. Take a look, y'all.
Listen, you're beefing over Aaliyah. I don't care about We're not beefing over nobody Aaliyah. We're beefing because you're fucking sick.
Bam.
Nobody's doing nothing for the Nobody's doing nothing for the internet.
Don't touch her. Don't touch her. You was not about to touch her.
What?
Touch her.
What? You're a female. I don't care. Call your brothers, bro. Call your brothers. I don't care. Knock me out. Knock me out. It's okay. Knock me out.
I'm trying to pay for my stuff.
Yo, get out. Knock me out. Knock me out.
You see me?
Knock me out. Knock me out.
Don't do it over here.
Knock me out.
Yes, yes. Hey, hey. Yes, yes.
Get off my arm.
Get up, Nick. One way, let's go. Get up, yo.
I don't care. Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit. I don't need my brothers. Get the fuck out the store.
Okay, so you guys saw that video. It's pretty bad. It's not good. So my question to you guys is this, all right? And this goes out to the fellas, and this goes out to the ladies too, because I want to hear your thoughts on this situation. What would you do if you were in the guy's position? If you are a man, where do you stand on the situation of if a woman is coming at you, it's not your loved one, it's not your girlfriend, it ain't your wife, it is just a random girl coming at you, putting the paws on you. Do you hit back because with the confines of the traditional the traditional sense of you are a man and she is a woman, or do you hit back? Or do you walk away? That's the question I'm going to put up for everyone. Now, here it is. Mr. T12 just asked a question, said, what led up to this? Now, here's the thing. I don't know what led up to this situation. All I know is this story. All I know is when the video started and where the video ended. So we're just looking at the literal situation right when they said go. Right when they started saying action, okay? I don't know what the problem was. He might have mouthed off at her. It could have been a slew of things. It could have been a plethora of different scenarios, okay? So my question goes out to everybody. What would you do in this situation? Now, if you're a man, okay? In the traditional sense of things, men should never, In the traditional sense of things, men should never put their hands on a woman. Not never, right? Like that guy said. He's like, you're a woman. I'm not going to touch you. You're female. I'm not going to touch you. Mm-hmm. But she's putting the paws on you. So what do? Guys, thoughts?
Go ahead, Ed.
Man, honestly, I don't know. I would think you just try to get away. Like, 'cause she's like in pursuit of him. You just try to get away. Or like hold her hands, try to like grab her hands and like pick her up and like put her down or something. But I would think that's probably the only thing, like just restrain. So I think someone just said the same thing in chat, restrain. That's probably what I would do. Try to restrain, try to get try to hold her down. Try not to get beat the hell up because I'm not gonna hit back. So I would think that's really the only thing, to be honest. Okay. I mean, obviously we've seen videos of dudes like stuff like that happen.
Oh yeah.
Dudes like the guy gets tired and he's like just bop and just squares up in his back. So it's just kind of like. Ugh.
See, now here it is though. I've seen videos like that too, and I've seen girls like people go nuts about that. I've seen situations where girls come up, square up on a dude, start swinging, saying what she was saying, like what, keep swinging. Finally, the dude's like, bap, she's out cold, and then all of a sudden, everybody goes after the dude and says, "How dare you do that to her? Because she's a female." Okay, so I understand that too, but Jack, thoughts?
So obviously situational, right? So if he mouthed off to her, did something to her that caused her to turn around and start attacking him, then yeah, I mean, it would be real bad for him to fight back and to put her like down on the ground due to something that he started. Yeah. Now, if she just randomly, if he was standing there and she turned around and was like, "You're too close to me," or like if there's some situation where she just started to randomly go after him and hitting him, and people are filming and stuff like that, and they're in a place. Like, once she starts kicking and doing that stuff too, like, it's no longer hands. You said you couldn't put your hands on a woman, right?
Word.
But it's one of those things. You don't have to necessarily punch somebody in the face to make them stop attacking you. Yeah. Like, restraining her wasn't going to do anything. She's going to start swinging her heads and her feet and everything else. Like, I don't know. There's so many situations where you see that women will take the stance of, like, if they're going to fight somebody, they said, "Fine, go ahead and hit me." And then you can hear people in the background like, "You better not hit her." But like, if someone's taunting you to hit them, and then other people are supporting, like, they want it to happen so they can see it. Yeah. Like, in that situation, if it had gotten to a point to where, like, she is holding on to his arms and starts kicking him, like, I'm okay with him defending himself. I don't have a problem with that. Like, now, obviously going after her and just starting to beat her, like, that's not okay. A solid punch to the stomach to put her on the ground to stop coming after him. If she started the situation, yeah, that's okay. Restraining her some way, shape, or form, you could probably do more damage to her by restraining her. Like, punching her in the face, something like that, that's not cool. Yeah. Punch her in the throat, maybe to stop her from, being able to breathe, that's not cool either. That's just do a quick little eye gouge or something. I don't know. There's defense tactics that you can do that aren't going to be like, giving her a black eye and bruised face and stuff, to where, like, it doesn't look like the traditional, domestic abuse type of victim or something like that. Now, if this was outside or in any other place, and say she had something out besides her fist, is it okay then? Like, when does it become okay to defend yourself without being ridiculed by other people because of this female-male perspective? Like, if she has a bat, if she's got a knife, like, at what point does it become okay?
And that's a very good question. I think that when it comes to weapons and something that is when your life is on the line, you knock that person the hell out. I don't care. If somebody's running after you with a knife, if somebody's trying to shoot you with a gun, if somebody got a bat and they're swinging at your head and they're meaning harm, they're meaning death, like serious injury, man, you defend yourself and you square up like you are fighting a man. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. That stuff is another story. But when some girl is swinging and all that, now let me say this: when it comes to that situation, if I was in that situation and I was having a verbal disagreement with a woman in a convenience store, and I don't know her from a can of paint, I don't know her from Adam, and she all of a sudden starts swinging at my head, okay, one, I'm protecting my head as much as I can. I'm protecting myself as much as I can. But here's the other thing: he had the option of walking out that front door.
Yeah,
all he had to do was walk
right
out.
Past it.
All he had to do was walk out that front door and keep it moving. Just keep walking. That's it. If that's the situation, if he was in a situation where he was like, I don't know what to do with myself, you know, I'm not gonna punch back because you're a woman, that kind of thing, then you walk out the front door. That's it. Because once you start putting your hands on them, because no matter what, real talk, you sit there, you put your hands on them, or like not hands on them, but like say they're swinging, so you grab their arms to protect yourself, and you're squeezing hard. Why? Because they're probably doing this stuff and everything. Next thing you know, you got bruises on their wrists. Next thing you know, they could press charges on you for doing something physically damaging to their body. Then they can charge assault on you. Because what's going to happen? The cops lean mostly towards the woman in regards to a physical altercation, right? So when that kind of thing happens, when it all comes down to it, if a girl is going crazy and is getting all fired up and getting angry and wanting to get all up in your face, and it's like, what? Walk out the front door. Don't talk about anything. Don't try to sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to hurt you because you're walk, turn around and leave like a gentleman. Just walk out the door. That's it. Don't do anything else. Put your hands up and walk out the door. That's just what I think in regards to that situation. But if it's something deadly, like a knife, a gun, a weapon of some sort where you're going to try to put pain on me, okay.
Throwing hands. We're throwing hands.
I'm throwing hands.
If there's a weapon involved, that just kind of like
absolutely that changes everything. Now you're like, that's an even playing field. That totally evens the playing field now. Now you're going, okay, this is my life now.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in some sort of chokehold. I'm putting you into submission, and I'm knocking you out. That's it. Sorry. That's it.
Chokehold.
I'm serious.
Oh man.
Why do I practice jujitsu? To use it if things go bad. Seriously, I'm going fight, and that's it. Done. If I can get close, if I can get near close, that's it. If I can, that's it. I'm sorry.
Hey, one of my college roommates was a wrestler. He taught me how to, like, someone throws, just feint under, get on their, at their waist,
throw them down,
arms, both hands behind their legs, and you just pick them up and you just put them on the ground.
And then that's it.
Like
sometimes that's the only move you need to do, because they hit, they're out. Knock the wind out from them. Seriously, they're out. Sometimes you knock the wind out of them. They're like, oh, and you're like, okay, and then run away or walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Your shoulders in their stomach.
Facts.
Like you just, and when you come down, you're coming down with some of your body weight onto their stomach, onto the ground, and it'll just knock the wind out of them.
Yep. You know what I mean? But anyway, definitely comment down below. Keep the conversation going. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in regards to that. We got to go into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be sitting down and chopping it up with Kyle Swanson of KTS Predators. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. Defensive crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their self because their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. There was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling the road and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly tainted.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up,
Big
man?
guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean, rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform
I'm sorry,
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this
No, it's
man
not
is
boring.
too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation today. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out the show, please go click that like button on our feed right now as we speak, and don't forget to crush that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot. There was something that kind of came up for Kyle Swanson, so he's not available to be on right now, but hopefully we'll get him on a little bit later on today, or a little bit later on this week sometime. Oh, okay. So we're going to be talking about a few other things instead. There is something that I wanted to talk about in regards to a few things. One, there is a video that I have been putting out, or that I put out this past Friday, Friday or Thursday evening or something like that. I don't remember what day I put out the video, but it had to do with Rick and Morty's creator, Dan Harmon. And that video lately has been getting a whole lot of views. It's just been getting cranked. Like, people just crushing it. Views are going insane. It's getting a lot of hits. And I was hoping to have Kyle Swanson on because he is someone who actually tracks down and hunts sexual predators. He owns a company called KTS Predators. You can find his YouTube channel where he literally goes out there and tries to trap sexual predators. A lot of pedophiles and all that. It's pretty amazing what he does. And so I was hoping to have him on to chop it up and talk about that and have him on the show. But, unfortunately, he is not available to be on right now. Something just came up, and, I totally understand that is something that he's got to do. But I'm seeing your comments, and Dame Leela D, thank you so much, Dame. I appreciate you commenting, saying too good of a show for only 17 people to be watching. Yeah, we're trying to make our things happen. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make things happen as much as we can. Getting the word out there. So if you can, please spread the word. Let people know about this show. We would really, really, really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about you guys sharing the word, spreading the word, and letting people know that this show even exists. So, please spread the word as much as you can. I'd really, really appreciate that to everybody. So, Jack, just so you know, sorry, I have that on mute. Just so you know, Kyle is not available right now. He's in the middle of something. Like, something came up. So hopefully he's saving the world, stopping another predator from doing something bad right now. But yeah, he's a little bit busy, and so hopefully I'll have him on a little bit later on this week, or hopefully tonight or something like that. So I'm working on it. We're gonna see what happens in regards to in the next couple of days. You know what I mean? Over the next couple hours, I'll have something figured out, and he'll be on a little bit later, hopefully. Cool. So, but I wanted to talk about this because I really did want to talk about the Dan Harmon thing, and I was hoping to have that conversation with all of us, with Kyle, on the show. But he's not here, unfortunately. But I wanted to have this conversation with you as well to see what your thoughts are about this particular scenario that happened over this past weekend, over this past couple days. So Dan Harmon is the creator of Rick and Morty. He had a skit a long time ago, like back in 2000, I forgot. It was like 2008, 2009, something like that, where he did a sketch comedy parody of Dexter. And it was it was called Daryl, where he is a man who travels back in time to sexually assault serial killers when they're kids, when they're babies, so that to prevent them to become serial killers, basically. And obviously it was, there's one particular video where he is sexually assaulting a baby doll. And people definitely are up in arms about it. Now, it was a situation, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. You know what I mean? So it was a situation that was brought up, like, he had it up on the internet or something like that. Then he quickly took it down. But of course, the internet lasts forever. He had it up, he took it down, but then it resurfaced in 2018. He apologized. He said, what I did was not cool. I thought it was funny, but then I realized it was wrong. I took it down, never to be seen, hoping for it to never be seen ever again. But of course it resurfaced. So I apologize for what I've done. I'm really sorry. Now, he apologized about that. Of course he does. He creates Rick and Morty. It's a crazy popular show. People buy his merch, people watch his show, consume the content, and all of a sudden, 2020, it resurfaced. And he's out here saying, you know, I've already apologized for what I've done for that video. I've apologized, you know, I've already apologized. I did something wrong. I'm not proud of doing what I did, but at the same time, I did it. I'm sorry. So, what are your thoughts on it? Now, I know that here it is. I've already had my piece on it. So if you want to hear my piece on it, please go and check out that video, which is it's right there on my channel. So go check out my channel, and it's right there. It's one of the first 3, if I'm correct. And it's getting a lot of hits. Like, people are looking at it like crazy, which is great. And it's starting a conversation piece. So the thing is I would like to hear from Jack and hear what your thoughts are on this situation. What are your thoughts, man?
So was this an animated thing?
Oh, no. This was a live action video. Literally, he's like in this movie, or in this sketch, Daryl, he is a psychiatrist, right? And from my understanding, he's going and like traveling back in time to sexually assault these kids. Sexually assault children, future serial killers. That's it. So instead of like, okay, if you don't know what Dexter is, Dexter was a very popular show on Showtime. Dexter was a blood splatter analyst, or blood analyst in Miami for the Miami PD. But he was also at night. During the day, he worked for the Miami PD, but at night, he was a vigilante, and he's a serial killer that kills serial killers. See what I'm saying? So, in this one, he's doing a parody of Dexter called Daryl, in which he goes out, travels back in time to sexually assault serial killers. But in this particular skit, which is a live action skit, like some low budget live action skit, he is going, and there's a baby doll, and he is performing, like literally you see him performing a sexual act. You can't go around this one in this particular situation. But he sexually assaults a baby doll that's supposed to be a baby future serial killer.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So, what are your thoughts?
So, if you've ever watched Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon's mind is just out there. Like, he is a comedian. He is very funny, but he is a very eccentric type of mind, and everything that he's like. If you watch any of those shows, everything in that show is just crazy. I just found that clip and just did a couple fast forward moments through it and screenshot stills and whatnot. And I see where he's trying to be funny with it, saying, "Hey, you know, with the serial killer, if you go back and you can, you know, stop a serial killer by doing this, would you?" You know, having to be a doll is one thing. Obviously, you know what his intentions are. The context of why he's going to go do it plays into it. It's a messed up thing. Like, it is a messed up thing to put. Like, it's like funnier in talking than it is in providing it into an action. Like, wouldn't it be funny if you had to go back this and if you could kill Hitler when he was a kid, would you kill Hitler? Like, and okay, well, if you could stop a serial rapist from being a serial rapist by going back and doing this, or a serial killer from doing this, I don't know if there's any justification for it. I don't know. It's pretty messed up. I'm glad that he realized how quickly. He said he created it first for Showtime, and it's supposed to be for the audience at Showtime. But then it was put onto Adult Swim, and he quickly realized that it was a little bit too much for that genre of people. So, yeah, I don't know. He's got a weird mind, man. And I don't know. I mean, it's not cool to simulate dropping your pants and they could have. That's one of those things where you screen you pan the video camera away. You don't show the actual act.
Yeah, you
can
just
show the
imply.
baby on the bed, show him coming through the window, and then then you let your imagination fill in the rest, right? But that's not a visual of him dropping his trousers and mounting a baby doll that I needed to see. So.
I'll say this. Well, actually, let me read this. Tanovan just said it's supposed to be a satire. I think that's how Dexter became a serial killer, but I never finished the show. So what happens with Dexter in the show is that something happens to him and his brother when they're really, really young. They see the brutal murder of their parents, and then obviously that's what changes them mentally in their head to become the serial killers that they end up being in the show. Now, a little bit of a spoiler. Sorry about that, but there you go. So the thing is that I think it was just a thing that he was just trying to say, oh, well, if it starts when they're really little, maybe if I mean, I'm not trying to defend Dan Harmon's mind or his thoughts and why he did what he did. I'm not condoning it at all. I think it's disgusting and wrong. But I think in his head is exactly what Jack said. Okay, if you were able to time travel back to when Hitler was born and kill him, would you do it? Or would you do something so drastically terrible to Hitler so that he could never be Hitler ever? Or become the Hitler he is supposed to become. And I think that's what he was trying to mess around with, but also try to do some really dark humor on top of it. And it's just not funny. It's very jacked up. When I saw it, I was just like, what is this? And then, of course, I was like, oh, damn, Dan Harmon. Damn. Because I like Rick and Morty. I like that show. But now it's like, and I got a Rick and Morty t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I've worn it on the show like once or twice already. I ain't wearing it anytime soon. I'm just going to be straight funky. Not because I think he should be canceled. I don't think he should be canceled. But he should own up for what he's done. But then at the same time, I'll say this too. And I've already said this in my other video, and you go check it out. Please go check it out. But I also did say this too. If you've addressed it 2 years before, it said, I'm very, very sorry about what I did. This is the worst thing I could ever do. You have Adult Swim backing you up, sitting there saying, hey, he's apologized. It's very, very bad. We don't condone that either, type thing. Should he have to apologize again? So that's the question that I put out there, and that's the question I throw out to you, Jack. Should he have to apologize again, or should he be canceled now for something that he should have been, if anything, should have been canceled for 2 years ago?
Well, it's like a whole new group of people got offended.
Exactly.
Right. So people that knew about him or followed in that world more closely, like that was, probably a topic of conversation amongst a certain, population, right? Whereas now, because everything is in the forefront, and especially a big reason why this got picked up again is because QAnon has jumped on top and started hashtagging it and putting together a Pizzagate and saying that he's all part of, the child pedophilia rings and stuff like that in Hollywood and whatnot. So, having that whole group come and jump on board, like, there's certain people that are out there to just cause havoc on other people. And I believe QAnon's part of that group, where if they can find anything and everything, it doesn't matter what you've said, they're going to try to bring it to the forefront until, your life is ruined.
Yeah.
And it's they got a big enough group and thing that if they start putting it on Twitter, like, it can trend real quick. And then, if one of the news stations picks it up and now a new mom that knows that their kids watch Rick and Morty, now they're seeing it for the first time and they're like, oh my gosh, get this guy canceled and shut down.
Oh yeah.
I understand why it's back in the talk and, but, if he's already apologized for it and if his employers didn't take any action against him, it would be more so instead of it'd be going after Adult Swim too, and being like, well,
Right.
why did you still hired on for 70 more
Yeah.
episodes? You're still
Why did you condone it?
contributing to him and giving him more work.
Yeah.
But that's a line of like, well, that's his, free speech. Where are you allowed to cut comedy down? What may be funny to you may not be funny to somebody else. A lot of people really do have a dark humor. And there's obviously a line at some point in time
Yeah.
that can easily be crossed. And there's the line that you can balance on and offend a whole bunch of people and make a whole bunch of other people laugh.
Right.
I feel like a lot of the things on Adult Swim are on that line to where, they have a lot of shock comedy that's in there and the parody type comedy that's in there too.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of dark humor in any of those, after hours Adult Swim shows. And some of the things that happen in those animated things are, I imagine, worse than, in perception than what he was doing in this video. But there's, I think I just remember one of the Rick and Morty things where they go to another planet and they find egg sacs of, from baby aliens or whatever, and they're cracking it open to drink the goo that comes out of the egg just so they can, Rick can be, stronger or smarter forever or something like that.
Yeah.
So like there's other things where they're doing it, but it's animated. So like if this was an animated thing, would it have been as big of a deal?
I think if it was an animated thing, I think that they would have implied it rather than actually show it. And also, I think that I also think that Adult Swim would also look at it and go, nah. If he was to show it, they would have been like, nah. We have to take that out, or you got to censor that whole entire part, or there's got to be a disclaimer in the beginning or something. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I think that they would have to do something. You know what I mean? And the thing is that's the thing. It's like, but it goes back to the question at hand. Does he still have to be buried in the dirt for something that he did a while back, and he's already addressed and he's already apologized for? Now the thing is that, okay, yes, he will always have that hanging over his head forever. Everybody's gonna remember, oh yeah, even though you got away with it, doesn't mean that we don't remember O.J. Simpson. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be like that. I'm sorry, it's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, why do you think people don't really rock with him at all? Because he did it. Let's just be real. That man did it. He just got away with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but with Dan Harmon, it's a thing. Like, people will always remember that thing, that one thing. If R. Kelly ever walks out of the prison ever and gets away with it, people will always remember R. Kelly as the man who peed on a 16-year-old girl. You see what I'm saying? I'm just going to be completely straight funky. So no matter what, it's always going to be over his head, but I don't think he has to apologize every single time it gets brought up. You see what I'm saying? I mean, yes, I was just looking at Mr. T12 just said, that's the climate now, everyone is offended. And that's true. A lot of people are hypersensitive right now, but something like that, when you see it, I'm sorry, when I saw it, I was just like, what is this? And of course, at the same time, I'm like, damn, Dan. Damn it, Dan. Why did you do that, Dan? You know what I mean? I was really upset about it. That's offensive as all get out. That's terrible. You know what I mean? But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, if you've already apologized for it, 2 years ago, do you have to apologize again? Same thing with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart had a lot of homophobic jokes back in the day that he put out as tweets. People were burying him in the dirt about that back in the day. He apologized about it. Then he got the dream job of hosting the Oscars. Then suddenly, all of a sudden, these tweets pop back up and he gets under fire about those homophobic tweets again. Then he says, hey, I'm sorry, but I've also apologized about this already. I shouldn't be canceled because of something that I've already apologized before about. But he still stepped down from the gig. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, when does one have to, how many here it is. How many apologies is going to be enough? That's basically what it is. How many apologies will be enough? You know?
Well, you can pull Trump and just never apologize. And then you never apologize about anything, and you're never wrong about anything, and then you never have to apologize.
Facts.
But in this case, it sounds like, if you're on front news, you can't just sit there and be like, I already said my bad. And I get to say, yeah, it was my bad again. Like,
yeah,
I've been doing other work, and I've never made a thing like that again. So
yeah,
I recognize how bad it was, and now he needs to come out with instead of an apology, he needs to be like, hey, by the way, I know how bad it was, so I started up a fund for raising awareness about this. He needs to start a nonprofit and create his negativity into positivity.
But doesn't that seem disingenuous? And that seems like the Hollywood approach, though. It seems like every Hollywood character, every Hollywood personality out there that has ever done anything bad or anything wrong will always pull up out of nowhere, pull out of their ass a foundation of some sort to cover their ass to show that they still care.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen millions of times.
Everyone that is forced into apology state when they're being put on mainstream TV and in the spotlight, and they're forced to apologize. That seems disingenuous, because if they really would have, they would have come out and they wouldn't have done it in the first place, or they would have immediately apologized on their own without having to be put into the spotlight to have to apologize. So I would rather them use their money they've been making and go ahead and then support some other group and say, hey, I did this, and now that we all know about it, don't forget to go on all these news links and follow this link to the Dan Harmon, child abuse awareness campaign, or something like that, or he does more episodes about actual serial killers to where he can bring light to people that still need justice brought to them. Like I don't. There's got to be some kind of use his money, his power, his fame towards a good, so that he doesn't get stuck in a rut and just thrown into a grave.
I think it's like it's almost like the king of spin in a way, just being able to spin it in some sort of way. But then, like I said, it just doesn't seem. It seems disingenuous. But that's just me. You know what I mean? But
do you think Jimmy Kimmel's apology is really felt?
No.
It did it because it
was trash. That was a trash apology. That wasn't even an apology. It was kind of like a defensive statement, sandwiched with an apology somewhere in there. It wasn't even real. It just seemed like, I was impersonating people, but I'm sorry if you don't understand that kind of thing. Yeah, sorry that you sensitive people got offended. But I mean, that's the thing. Some people take it like that. Some other people, like Kevin Hart, will sit there and go, hey, I'm sorry. What I did was wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Dan Harmon. He apologized. Hey, I'm sorry. What I did was wrong. And that was it. You know what I mean? And I feel like, in a way, it's like he knew it was wrong. He knew what he did. He thought it was funny. Did not come across very well. People took it offensive. And yeah, it's coming back again. Now, the funny thing is some people are very interesting, but that's why this one's such on the fence, because there are people who agree wholeheartedly, and then there are people who just just passionately disagree with the thing of whether he should be canceled or not. And that's just one of those things that he should be. I don't know. I think it's something that is. I can't make the decision for myself personally, because an act of doing something for a joke that doesn't land seems to be just as bad as actually doing said act. Now, he wasn't doing the act. It's not like he was caught red-handed doing the act on some innocent child. He was doing a skit and trying to make a joke. I just think it was a skit that did not land very well. It was just a failed joke, a very failed joke. But it's gonna, even so though, it's gonna take me a while to. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch that show again personally, because now all I think about is that. That's just me though. It's just burning my brain. Now I don't know if he should be canceled. That's just what I leave that question up to you guys, whether he should or not. But for me, it's, you know, and I'm not trying to be an SJW, you know, but at the same time, for me, now I just have those images burned in my brain, and I'm not cool with those images, you know, personally. So I don't know. I don't know. You know? But anyway, I was reading some of these comments. Hold on. Tanner Vane said, well, he could definitely be hit or miss. Rick and Morty mostly works because it throws out so many jokes you will find something funny. That is true. Lax Payne, I feel like this is small potatoes, and there are bigger fish to fry. Also, I'm hungry. Facts. South Park, he also said, Lax Payne said, South Park has done way worse. Yeah. I've seen some things on South Park that have made to air that I'm like, wow, you literally got away with all that stuff. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't rock with South Park, because I'm not a fan of South Park. I never have, never will be. But I've seen some episodes, and it's just kind of like, all right, there's certain things that just, yeah, I can see that for sure. They just there's a lot of things that they get away with, for sure. For sure. So it's very, very interesting. By the way, Jack, I just sent you an email because there's something that we should check out here.
Yeah.
Very, very
sorry, I was reading this thing about, I forgot, I remember this happening, but I forgot about it with Dan Harmon. I think that instead of him being shut down from that, I think that I'm surprised they're not bringing back up his sexual harassment stuff with his employee when he was working at Community.
Yep, we talked about
so
that
like he has
too.
a full-on apology and things like that. I mean, that's more real life than his skit.
Than that skit, absolutely.
And more, harmful to an individual that he worked with, and probably the surrounding other female, cast members and writers and everything else. But that kind of puts his brain into spot the way that he, outlines his apology. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, at what point in time is it, what jokes are off limits, basically? And just because they offend you doesn't make it not okay to tell them, because it might make somebody else laugh. But if that's the stuff that makes somebody laugh, is that the type of person that you want to be telling jokes to?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many other things that I imagine if we went back through and looked at all these old shows, there's going to be instances of stuff that happened throughout it that we're like, man, that's not okay now. And I'm sure you could go back years and years. 2009, the stuff that was coming out in 2009. I'm sure we could go back through it that year and look at a whole bunch of other things and be like, oh, this was questionable, and this was questionable, and this was questionable. And it was done in a joking manner. I don't know. But I got your email here. I'll take a look at it. Let's see. It's this 20-page autopsy report.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. I'm reading these comments here and everything. Some of them were not popping up, so I'm looking at this other page. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's just, like I said, when it comes to him, he has kind of a tarnished thing, and, it's just, yeah, there's just a lot of jokes in there that I'm just not, I don't know. It's just, like I said, I just can't unsee those things. I can't support it personally. And it sucks because I'm a huge fan. I was a fan of Rick and Morty, but I just can't watch that stuff anymore personally. And the thing is what sucks is that, like, I also think I do think, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be honest. I really do think that in 2020, or I mean, in 2018, when it was surfaced at that time, he should have been in so much trouble for it then. Because he apologized, yet people still went out, bought his stuff, did his thing, consumed his show, loves his show, all that. And what sucks is, like, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way around it, or maybe they just recast his voice, somebody else who can mimic his voice, as Rick and as Morty. You know, there's got to be something, because that video is just not cool, in my personal opinion. It's just bleh. It's gross. It's gross. But at the same time, I feel like it's something that he could have said. Like, he should have apologized and maybe stepped down in 2018. But people let it slide. Like, the public let it slide, and now it's getting brought back up again. Maybe it's just not enough. I don't know. It's just a terrible thing, and I'm not cool with it. I'm just not cool with it. I'm just not cool with it. And it doesn't even matter how many times, like, South Park has gotten away with murder. I mean, I have not watched enough South Park to sit here and go, hey, you know, but you've never seen Trey Parker and Matt Stone is his name, right? Matt Stone or Mark Stone? Anyway, you never seen them do a video where they're simulating a sexual act on a baby doll. You know what I'm saying? Period. So, as far as I know, unless that's somewhere in the deep in their safe, you know, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I personally think. So it's just weird. To me, it's just a sad thing, you know? And Tanovan, yeah, he writes most of the show, and I understand that too. But I'm sure that there are other really talented writers out there, or they can get a team of writers out there that can still mimic his same voice or his the same thing. I don't know. Personally, I'm not cool with it personally. I'm just not cool with it. It irks me because I saw the video. Now, if I hadn't seen the video, maybe I'd feel a different way, but it's still burned in my brain. And it's just really disturbing. And I don't know how he thought that was funny. I don't know what's up with that. I just don't know.
Because he was stopping serial killers. That's why he thinks it was funny, because it's an extreme situation to be able to stop a serial killer.
There are moments when I wish the people could go up, like, you know, you have an idea and you just have a sounding board. Every single comedian, every single creator out there should have some sort of creative sounding board, like a best friend or another creative that might be like, hey man, I got this really great idea where I'm simulating sexual act on a baby doll. What do you think? But here's the background story of it, of course, too. But, you know, I'm doing this to a baby doll. I'm going to have my bare ass out. I'm going to be, you know, thrusting in the air. It's going to be funny. What do you think? At least somebody else would probably be like, I don't know if that's a good idea, bro. Maybe you should think about that. Kind of like that whole Twitter reminder thing that I keep talking about, because some people like Terry Crews likes to tweet things that are just kind of sometimes stupid, right? Or very questionable. And sometimes I wish there was a Twitter reminder or Twitter thing, like a threshold before you post, that Twitter will be like, you sure? You really, really, really sure you want to post this tweet, Terry Crews? You sure? Please confirm. You got to verify through your email, though. Something like that, where you just got to do that extra step so that you can go, maybe I don't want to post this. Maybe it's not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Just a sounding board. Dan Harmon did not go to a sounding board and say, hey, sounding board, got this crazy idea. I want to do a parody of Dexter, and it's going to be doing this, this, and this, and then it's going to be showing my bare butt on a baby doll. Thoughts? I'm sure people are going to be like, hell to the no. That's all. That's just what I think. Comment down below. Let me know what you think on that. I know that the comments are blasting through. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Jennifer Lang, yeah. You know, child aura is not okay, and I agree. You know what I'm saying? I totally agree. I totally agree. Anyway, we got to jump into this next thing. We got something from, who emailed this to me? I feel like a jerk. Tano Vane again. Man, he's been killing it with these posts, man. So there has been a new, the authorities just released George Floyd's complete autopsy report. You want to bounce back and forth on this, Jack?
Yeah.
Lead the way.
The first thing that I was seeing is I jumped down into here and they had these toxology things listed on what was in his blood and urine. And the first two things that really pop out to me is that there is 11 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's norfentanyl, which I think is like something else. It's like a breakdown of fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
It had a bunch of methamphetamine in them, and
I'm looking at
various
that too.
types of THC, so like weed.
Yeah.
And then cottonine positive and caffeine positive. I don't know what cottonine is, but I can tell you what, 11 ng over ml of fentanyl. That's what people go in and have overdoses on. Now, I know that we've had recent stories with the news where the police show up, and who was the other person that they show up and they injected him with fentanyl? Who was the younger guy that they gave it to?
You're talking about ketamine.
Huh?
You're talking about ketamine? You're talking about Elijah?
Ketamine. It's basically, yeah, ketamine. Is that what they used?
It was ketamine.
On
no, it was ketamine, and it was the. It was not. Yes, it was ketamine. It was not the cops. It was actually the paramedics that showed up. They said, "Give him ketamine," and they gave him more than the dosage that his body could handle, and that caused all kinds of crazy
That's like settle
reactions.
him down and stuff like that. And to have this either means that he is a huge like opioid user, to be able to withstand that amount and to not overdose.
And you also got to remember he was a big guy too. So
he's a big guy, but fentanyl doesn't care. Fentanyl's going to take down an elephant. That's what it's used for.
But at the same time, yes, big guy, but also this ain't his first rodeo. It ain't his first rodeo. He was clearly driving a car. He was operating heavy machinery whilst on fentanyl. I just want to point that out too. So I mean, if he was if he was going to OD, if he was ODing, that didn't happen any time during his arrest. You see what I'm saying?
See, that's what is. That's why it's so iffy to me, is that like seeing that and just being familiar with what opioids do to people and like working for companies that deal with all that stuff. Like, it almost inclines me to think that he didn't take it and that it was given to him. Like, that's where my brain goes with this, saying, oh, maybe they tried to do something to calm him down, or maybe they did something to, like, I don't know. Like, if he has a history of use, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But that amount is not, like, a small amount. And then mixed in with everything else that's in his body. Like, I don't know.
Well, here it is, though.
It could be a stretch in saying that it was, given to him forcibly.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know, when those paramedics showed up and they didn't really, like, they first showed stuff and they, like, really didn't check his pulse or anything like that right away. Like, I don't know.
Here it is, though. They said Floyd's cause of death, they said, as was released earlier by the medical examiner's office, Floyd's cause of death is listed officially as a cardiopulmonary arrest complicating law enforcement subdual, restrain, and neck compression. The full autopsy report states further that no life-threatening injuries were identified. So, Now, so the medical examiner office had also previously deemed the manner of Floyd's death a homicide, quote unquote. So, let me repeat that again. It listed the cause of death listed officially as a cardiopulmonary arrest by restraint and neck compression. So then it says 46-year-old. They said they described Floyd as a 46-year-old man who became unresponsive while being restrained by law enforcement officers. He received emergency medical care in the field and subsequently in the Hennepin Healthcare Emergency Department, but could not be resuscitated. So, the injuries. The report explains in detail injuries to the body. Blunt force injuries included, I don't even know, cutaneous, I guess. Cutaneous blunt force injuries of the forehead, face, and upper lip.
What's for his face being on the ground?
Yeah, with his face being on the ground. Absolutely. Injuries of the lips. Blunt force injuries of the shoulders, hands, elbows, and legs. And patterned contusions of the wrists, consistent with the restraints or the handcuffs. So
they also said that he had COVID, but he would have been asymptomatic at the time, and there's nothing that really showed up that would have caused, something to happen from his COVID symptoms.
Exactly. So, I mean, and obviously we just looked at his toxicology findings and everything, and yes, he had a lot of fentanyl in his body, for sure. But at the same time, here it is. For somebody who probably this is, like I said, probably not his first rodeo in regards to the fentanyl. So I'm sure he's done it before. He was going to do it again, I'm sure, the next day or later on that day or whatever. Or you never know. He may have taken that, gone home, and died. You never know. But at the same time, I feel like, and of course, I don't know anything really about fentanyl, to be straight funky with you. I don't know the full breakdown of fentanyl in regards to a overdose. But from my understanding, if you take something, don't you OD immediately? That's just my personal opinion. Like, if you shoot up heroin in your arm and there's fentanyl in it, isn't it instantaneous that you OD? If you go and snort too much cocaine, don't you already, or like a bad batch or a bad line of cocaine, don't you OD immediately? It's not like it just lingers and then suddenly you OD. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost instantaneous. At least that's from my understanding. Now, when it comes to this situation, he was operating a car. He was driving. Now, he could have, obviously, he took a hit of that fentanyl or whatever he had. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was high, but he wasn't reacting. He wasn't having a OD. He wasn't reacting in an overdose way. He was just high as hell. Dude was just high. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I know that is a lot of fentanyl to have in your body, but at the same time, obviously this is not his first rodeo. He's done it before. He likes the feeling of it. Maybe he knows the proper amount of dosage, or maybe he is just built a tolerance to that this particular drug and knows what he needs to do. I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And Jennifer Lang, we are reading your comments, and I'm going to get to your comment here in a second for sure. But it is just interesting. But the fact that they say that that all this stuff that went down, if I'm reading this right, if I'm reading this correctly, that this happened because of restraint and neck compression on his body. So it's interesting. It's interesting but that's the stuff that's been put out officially now. So, this was something that the Examiner report, I guess they did this. They did this on the 26th of May. So the very next day they did this autopsy. The autopsy was conducted exactly 12 hours later after his death. So on the 26th, he died on the 25th, and this happened on the 26th. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do as far as, things progress. But really quick, I got a left turn here really quick. That's just a piece of information right now. It is definitely interesting in regards to George Floyd's autopsy. Hopefully that'll bring some justice or bring some more things to light in regards to the case and everything. And hopefully, these men will be brought to justice, especially Derek Chauvin. Especially Derek Chauvin. Chauvin. Chauvin or Chauvin. I don't know how you pronounce it. But anyway, I don't care. Throw him under the prison. Anyway, Jennifer asked, how about let's talk about the 5-year-old shot in the head? Where's the riots for that? The news said nothing. Now, I did a pop-up video by itself already about that, so go and check that out on my page. It is there, ready to be seen, rocked and rolled. You name it, it is out there. Okay. But the thing is that let's talk about that really quick. So, Cannon Hinnant was riding his bicycle, 5 years old, was riding his bicycle in his front lawn in his neighborhood. He was out there with his 7 and 8-year-old sister. He was riding his bicycle on the front lawn. He biked over to his neighbor's front lawn, who the owner of that area or of that lawn was Darius Sessoms. He is 25 years old. He was sitting there. He pulled up to him. I guess there was an exchange of words, and Darius pulled the trigger at point blank range at his head, killing him instantly. Now the thing is that Darius is black. 5-year-old Cannon is white. Now there's a lot of people who are sitting here. They're asking. Everybody's up in arms, wondering why this story was not brought up, or why is this story not being in mainstream media right now. And there's a lot of reasons I think that it's not, but one of the main ones is I think it's because, honestly, I don't know if the media wants to cover something that has. I think the reason why they're not covering it is because I don't think that they want to cover something where it is a black man shooting a white child. That's what I think. But I also do think that if Darius was also out on the lam, still out on the run, I think it would have made national news with the quickness. The fact that they found him within 24 hours, arrested him, detained him, and he's in jail right now, facing first-degree murder, facing a charge of first-degree murder, says something as well. So I think that's why something like this was not swept under the rug, but just kind of, it kind of looked over, because that's my thought. Those are two different things, but I do think that because they found justice for him so quickly, there would be no need for, in a way, there would be no need for people going out in the streets, demonstrating, protesting or anything. Because if Darius was still out there and they didn't find him, they didn't find justice for this innocent 5-year-old kid, I think that it would have made national news for sure. But the fact that they were able to detain him within hours of the murder, it changes the story quite a bit. But that's just my thought on that. I don't know if it's like a race-related thing in regards to why they didn't do that. But my only assumption, one of my main assumptions, is because of the fact that they were able to find him quickly. And the funny thing is everyone says justice for Cannon. Still terrible how he died. Still absolutely horrible. What a hard thing to see, right? Such a horrible thing. But they arrested him. So why justice for Cannon if he's already arrested? Do you see what I'm saying? And he's getting charged with first-degree murder. So that's the only thing that I ask. That's the question I pose to everybody.
Right.
What do you think, Jack?
I mean, it makes sense that, the news wants to have news. If everything's already been resolved, I don't know how many people want to see a story about a 5-year-old being shot in the head over and over and over again. I think people are going to turn off the news. There's death in general is on the news all the time.
Yes.
Once you start having death about children, people really, it's a topic that people don't want to be surrounded by. And the fact that it was seen by the father or by the kids. The father was outside. I think the father saw it too. Like, it wasn't like they found a kid in the street and then they had to come up with a way of doing an investigation, find out who it was, and putting a public notice out saying we need help, figure out who this person was. This was more an open and closed case.
Yeah.
And obviously there's probably going to be some kind of a mental health plea or something like that. And whether or not he goes into prison or if he goes to a mental health facility, that'll be seen. And I guess there's going to be a certain, what is justice for that type of person. Most people say, hey, just kill him, death row, put him in, put him in the chamber, give him the fentanyl and put him down. People, that kill children, typically people don't want to see them alive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's a fragile situation to talk about. I believe it was on the news. Like, it was all over the news.
Yeah.
It's not a repeat type of story where I don't see them constantly bringing it back up and talking about it every other night.
Because here's the thing. Here's the other part I want to point out, okay? So when it comes to, because, Tanner Vane just said something that was very true. Okay, so there's a few comments in here, so really, really quick. Steven Simpson, good morning, Steven. Thank you for the comment on YouTube. He said his family has spoken a few times since, saying that the killer had come for dinner and was a friend in the past. They didn't know how this could have happened. And I did also say that in my video as well, my pop-up video, and just went into detail about like what happened, how it went down, and what were the speculations and all that. And still to this day, I don't even know how this happened either. I don't know why it happened. It seemed like they were all good. They were friends. The next door neighbors, Cannon's father was apparently very friendly with Darius. So we don't know why this happened and how this happened. But of course, hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of it as well. But Tanner Van also said this too. He said Chauvin was arrested the next day. They are still covering it. Let me say this really quick. The death of George Floyd was caught on video. It was crazy, inhumane. It has caused everything that's going on in the streets right now, all the unrest that's going on in every single city that we see right now, is a cause of George Floyd's death that was caught on a viral video. Okay? So that's one thing we have to remember. Even though Chauvin was arrested the next day, or I think it was the day after, something like that, he was arrested the next day, but at the same time, that video was being passed around and seen over millions and millions and millions of times, getting people very angry. Now, if Cannon, the story of Cannon's death, I hate to say that, but if it was caught on tape, this might be a completely different conversation. You see what I'm saying? If we saw that and we had a visceral reaction to it because we are physically seeing it with our own two eyes, there might be a different reaction to it. But I also have to say, the story came out. It's a terrible story. No child should be killed. No child should be killed. Ever. No matter what. But they found, the story came out. And I think that it would be a totally different story if it was a video made like a George Floyd thing. And I know that's so ridiculous. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, what the heck? It's a child. I get that. I totally get it. It is a child, no matter what. But at the same time, that terrible, grisly act, that vicious, terrible, unspeakable act that happened. Thank you, Jesus, it wasn't caught on tape. I'm just going to say that because I couldn't bear to see something like that personally. But that man is in jail. They are finding justice for Cannon. So it doesn't make sense to say justice for Cannon when there's already justice being had. Does that make sense? Now, if he was out on the run, out on the lam, running around, like I said, this would be a completely different can of worms. Then I'd say, yes, hashtag justice for Cannon. But they're already getting justice. They're getting down to the bottom of it, and they're trying to figure it out. I mean, that's at least what I see it as. You know what I mean? Personally. See, okay. I was going to say, it took a couple days. Steven's right. He said, I see May 25th, he was murdered. Yes. So George Floyd was murdered on the 25th, and it took, it was like the 29th, something like that. It was more than just a day where he got arrested. Now, where Chauvin got arrested. This Darius Sessoms that killed Cannon Hinnant was arrested within 24 hours. Now, here's the other thing. Let's point this out too. You got people that killed Breonna Taylor that are still out to this day. There has still not been any justice for her at all. At all. Those guys are still out. There are photos of the guy who actually is the one who shot, one of the people that shot and killed Breonna Taylor, out at the beach, hanging out and having a good time. There are guys that Elijah, I'm forgetting his name now, and I feel like
McClain?
Elijah McClain, exactly. Elijah McClain. Those guys still out there. They're suspended right now, or I think they've been officially fired because of the stranglehold photo that they took at the place that Elijah McClain died at, basically. You know what I'm saying? These guys are still out there, and there's no justice for those guys at all whatsoever, for any of these men and women that have died. Cannon's death is terrible. It's worst ever. I can't believe that ever happened to a child. It should never happen to a child. But they also found justice for him within 24 hours. There are still people. Oprah has put out billboards, plastering Breonna Taylor's face on billboards, trying to get justice for Breonna Taylor. And those people that were involved in that shooting are still out on the loose. So I can see why the news is going to cover certain things that are still unsolved mysteries, I guess, if you will. Unsolved cases. Cannon's story is terrible, horrendous. But they got it answered, and they solved. Well, I mean, obviously the questions are still up in the air as to why and what happened between Darius and Cannon. But Darius is in jail now, and he's been in jail. So that's what I say in regards to this whole thing. And as much as I know that there's people that are, and I do agree to a certain extent, Enemy Nation. I'm just reading one of his comments. He said, it's hard to say that the media has a narrative on race they want to push. And I agree. But, the media's messed up. Media's definitely messed up. And if it bleeds, it leads in a way, especially if it's a brown or black, if it's a person of color, especially if it's a cop going after a black man, or a shooting of a cop. I've noticed that too. There'll be shootings all day long. They'll talk about, an off-duty officer got shot today. And it's like, what are they trying to do? You know what I mean? So I definitely see your points in regards to that too. You know what I mean? No matter what, all stories are terrible, are all absolutely terrible. They all deserve the same amount of light, if you will, the same amount of attention. No story, In fact, I wish there was a lot of these stories that we weren't looking at, to be completely honest. I wish we weren't having these things. Unfortunately, that's what the media wants to do is jump on something and ride it till the wheels fall off. I felt compelled about the Cannon Hinnett story because it bothered me. And when I read about it and when I talked about it, I figured that it was going to be in the news. I figured it would be all over like the next day or something like that. And it wasn't. And the only thing I can say is that's ridiculous. That's terrible that happened, that they don't put that in there. And the other thing is I pulled it out because I wanted to show that there's still bad on others there's still bad news. There's still things that are going on in the world that aren't about a police officer killing a black man or a black man or black woman killing a cop. There are other crazy crimes and heart-wrenching stories that are out there that do deserve light to be, put upon. So that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it did move me. And I can only imagine being a father and having my son out there and that happening to my son. And that's what I looked at first and foremost. So anyway, those are my 2 cents on that for sure. But if you want to see the full video, please go check it out. Please go and check it out on my channel. It's out there. It's by itself. Same thing with the Dan Harmon thing. Go check it out. There's a lot that we can talk about for sure in regards to that. And we could talk about this till we're blue in the face. But unfortunately, we got to wrap up the show. All right, guys. But anyway, Ed, I appreciate Ed for coming on earlier today. Jack, thank you for being on, my brother.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Always.
Yeah. You need to wear a bit of a more colorful shirt for me, though.
Next time.
This is just too bland.
It's just too bland, this shirt. You know what I mean? Today is lazy. I rolled out of bed, threw this on, and got ready with the show. But
Monday.
But I promise that tomorrow will be much more colorful. I promise. All right. But anyway, thank you guys all for being in. Thank you for all the new people that have come in and have come in to chat and be a part of the conversation. Saw a few new faces and a few new names. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. Good morning to all. Have a great rest of your morning, guys. I will have a pop-up video here a little bit later, and I will be going live tonight at 7 p.m., but I will be on for 1 hour only, okay? So we'll do one, main topic. I'll open up the phone lines to hear your voices so we can do a talk, a little bit of a call-in, and have a great time. So tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and keep an eye out for that pop-up video. All right, guys? But anyway, I appreciate all y'all. And if this is your first time checking out this show, I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So be a part of the conversation. Be a part of the posse, which is the Pascal Show. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great day, guys. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Hey, take off. Ms. Feinberg, I'd really appreciate it if you would close your legs.
Do you find it distracting?
Power, respect. The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers are trucking for tweakers and losing their circles. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. There was a feeling that made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up,
big
man?
guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.